Welcome back to the series where I review every single anime that I have ever watched. Today, we're going to be reviewing anime number 71 through 80. This is in the watch order that I originally watched them. If you want to go see the other 70 anime that I have watched, playlist will be at the end of the video or down below. Go check them out if you're interested. But today is an interesting little bunch of anime because there is a couple of standouts, but for the most part, these are some unique anime that maybe some of you might not have heard of. So I'm not going to be spoiling anything today, don't worry about that. But I want you to check out some of these because some of these are really underrated that I rarely hear anyone ever talk about. So anyway, let's get right on into it with anime number 71. Bo Furi. Now this is an anime that I loved season 1 of. I adored it, I thought it was great, I had a really good time watching it, and then what I realized, and what I have realized that I have a problem with a lot of anime like this, is that some series just don't need to go on. They can just end. And that's kind of where I got with this anime. I enjoyed it, it was fun, I liked the characters, but at some point I was like, okay, we're doing the same things over and over and over again. So, is it a fun, turn your brain off type anime? Absolutely. I had a lot of fun doing just that. However, whenever it came down to anything of substance, especially past like season 1, it's just not. And, you know, they could have done some really interesting stuff on like, hey, well, what's her like personal life outside of the game? Kind of learning about her like that. Nope, it's just a fun anime. There's not a lot of substance here. It's just that. And while for some people that's fine, and for me, I mean, I loved Kuma Bear. We talked about that before. With this one, it's almost as if I'm like, I just wanted something more. Especially season 1, it didn't hit me so hard. Season 2, I started to really get the vibes of, okay, I'm kind of wore out with this now. I've been here, done this. I just want something fresh. And it was not giving me anything fresh. All the plot lines they were doing was stuff that was basically a recoloring of stuff we've already seen. And, you know, I mean, yeah, that's fun for some people, but for me, I just kind of got bored. That's not to say that anything's bad. Like, everything they did is fine. But what they did, I just wanted more, and I didn't get it. It's like getting a really good meal, and you're like, I can't wait to see what other types of food this restaurant serves. And then you check the menu again, and you're like, oh, they just serve that one meal. And after you eat it so many times, you're just like, okay, I don't think I want this meal anymore. Solid like 7 out of 10. I don't really recommend watching past season 1, to be honest. Watch season 1. If you really are like starving for more of this same meal, watch season 2. But if you're like, that was great, I'm hoping for more, but that was great, you're not going to get any more, just stop watching, enjoy what you got. As for merch, I have the Nindroids from it, and I also have a plushie, but this is a Taito figure, and I just think it looks nice. I do like the character designs in this show. They're very unique. Sound Euphonium, the movie, Our Promise, A Brand New Day. Now that's a mouthful. So this film is technically the 3rd film. It's in the series of films for this franchise, but it's the only one that actually is not a recap film. The other ones are just recap films and they're not that important. There is another film we'll talk about here in a minute, but this is the only one in the main storyline. So season 1 and 2 of Sound Euphonium cover Kumiko's first year. Sound Euphonium Season 3 covers her 3rd year. So Sound Euphonium, the movie, Our Promise, A Brand New Day, covers her 2nd year. Now, I think Season 1 is the best, or Season 1 and 2, her 1st year, is the best year format-wise for the show and the franchise. Because we really get a lot of time to sit with these characters, we get a lot of time to really develop our feelings and what we, the audience, are feeling towards all these characters. We get a lot of time to develop them and everything. It's very well done. Have a lot of praise for Season 1 and 2. For Season 3, I think it also works because they don't introduce a ton of new characters, and I feel like because of the idea that because Kumiko is stressed, there is so much going on, it feels like the year is flying by, I can forgive that. With this film, this was not enough time for Kumiko's 2nd year. And I know people will tell me, well, in the books, there wasn't that much content in this year anyway. I don't care. You could easily make anime original stuff, and they've done that before. They can do it again. I don't know why this was made into a film, to be honest. I know that, you know, I don't know if this film came out before or after the tragic events at Kyoto Animation. I don't know that off the top of my head, but this year we get the younger, the 2nd year, or the 1st year in this movie, Kiori, I believe it is. And she is a really interesting character in my opinion. And I think she is developed really well going into the 3rd year. And she's just a great character overall. And I think this movie does a good job of showing her character and to make her character feel unique. And I think it does a good job at that. Everything we get in this film is well done. It's beautiful, by the way, but I mean, that's not saying much because the entire series is beautiful. It's Kyoto Animation. They're always beautiful. But this film just needed more time. I wanted more so that when we really can, you know, breathe with these characters. Now, we'll talk about it here in a minute. There is another story that happens at the same time as this film, and that story is better. But this one, to continue our main storyline, it's just okay. It is beautiful. The story is good. I just feel like we are so rushed for this film. And because I am used to getting 2 seasons for 1 year, I almost am like, I am overwhelmed this season with how quickly we're flying through the year. And I'm like, okay, hold on for 1 second. Let me breathe. But character-wise, it's fine. It's basically the anime, the series, but with a movie in the 2nd year. But it's just way too fast-paced. That's really the only complaint I have about it. Otherwise, it's great. I'll give it an 8 out of 10. I don't think I can go any higher than that. 8 out of 10. Merch-wise, I do have the plushie. I looked at Kumiko last time. Here's Reina. Who would have thought a badminton anime could actually be pretty good? So, I want to say right off the bat, these sequences of the badminton scenes are really cool. Like, I don't know why they decided to go so epic with some of this storylines and everything, but it's really well done. And I enjoyed the story of this quite a bit. So basically, I'm not going to go into spoilers, but we get this storyline of the main character here. Well, technically there's 2 main characters. We get the story of her with her mother and kind of to where she is insanely good. Then we get the other main character to where she is really good, but she's not on her level. And I like the dynamic between them two because it's 2 separate ways to how a person can get to this level of eliteness as being an athlete. And I really like that. I like their dynamic. I liked The badminton scenes themselves, they're really well done. I had a lot of fun with those. Everything in this anime just really worked in a way that I think it's underrated, that no one really talks about this anime. However, one thing that I think doesn't work is it's almost like too much. Like, I remember, this is one of my earlier animes, so I'm going on like 4 years since I watched this. But I vividly remember watching this, and I would be wore out after watching it. It seems dumb. But if you've watched this, I feel like you're gonna get that same, you're gonna know what I'm talking about, to where I got done watching, and I was almost like mentally exhausted because of, like, it's in a different way. There is some mentally, like, hard-hitting anime that I've watched, and they don't drain me like this one did. It was in a weird way. And I don't necessarily dislike that, but it was just unique. I don't know. This was a weird one. And I do think it's not going to work for everybody. Some people are going to say there's too much drama in this, there's too much, just, like, I just want a badminton anime. And that's fine. If that's how you are, I completely agree, and I understand your point. But with this, for me, it worked, and I had a lot of fun with it. So I don't have a lot more to say. Really, it just worked. I don't know if I can give it an 8 out of 10, but an 8 out of 10. Yeah, 8 out of 10. Solid anime, nothing crazy good, but, you know, for what it is, I had a good time watching it. And this is one that I would recommend to anybody that likes sports anime. I think you'll have a good time with it. Merch, I do have the Nendoroid here. I completely forgot that I even had this until I started looking for merch for it, and then I remembered I have her. I don't think I've seen very many people own this Nendoroid. Liz and the Bluebird. All right, this is one of the most, like, just beautiful things that I have ever seen in anime. And that's not because the animation's great, don't get me wrong, but it's not because of the animation. It is the way that this story is told. It's the way that you didn't have to have something like this for these two characters. We could have just had this be a side story in a full season of Sound Euphonium, make it season 3, then not have that movie. But we get this. And it's in a different art style. It's made by the creator of, I think, A Silent Voice. I think it says it on here somewhere. Yeah. So we get a different type of perspective when viewing this world, and I think it really worked. Some of the animation in it is really just beautiful. I'm not going to get into spoilers, because once again, I want you to go watch some of these, because I don't think a lot of you will have watched some of these. But there is one scene to where it happens a few times, and it's set in like a storybook type thing. And obviously from early on, you get the idea that it is kind of referencing something, and it's putting our characters, it's kind of labeling them as characters in these stories. And the way that it tells you everything you need to know right off the bat. But as the story progresses, you realize more and more that what you thought you knew is not quite what's happening. And man, is it beautiful whenever all that clicks. And it shows it. And the final few scenes are amazing. Also, there is a musical performance in this. And wow. I mean, it is, brief spoiler. It's not a big spoiler, but I just want to talk about it. So when they're performing this, they don't show a lot of the other characters. They really focus on these two girls. And the emotions that you see in these two girls, they're very minute. But the emotions you see in them, it is insane. And then when you do get a character in the background, they are not thinking, they're not, making this like big moment or whatever. It's not a big thing. They're static and they're shocked because they are witnessing something absolutely incredible. And I love that. I love where it takes place because it very easily could have been, this epic performance on stage or whatever, but where it takes place, it's almost like you really regret that this is not something that's happening on a stage with the best acoustics that it could ever have, because these two girls give an amazing performance. Whoever was in charge of all the musical stuff for this anime, wow, they did a great job. It's anime like this that really makes me dislike stuff like the Oscars, because you can't tell me, I don't know what year this came out, I don't know what other anime or other animated films came out that year, but you cannot tell me that this didn't need to at least be nominated for something like that. I mean, you can't tell me like Wreck-It Ralph 2 and Frozen 2 deserve to be nominated over this. This is cinema. This is cinema. And it is so good. Go watch Sound. If you don't watch Sound Euphonium, just go watch this. This is all you need. It is so good. I do have the Blu-ray for this. It's still sealed. I don't really have any plans to take it out of there because whenever I watched it, it was on one of the streaming services, and now it's not. But hey, I still got it, so pretty cool. As for a rating, I don't know if I can give it a 10 out of 10. I like saving those, but at least a 9.5 out of 10. But very, very high. I mean, it's so good. It's incredible. Ready for a hot take? I didn't love this anime. Some people, and a lot of people, I have heard this hundreds of times from people that I didn't even think watched anime. They will be like, oh yeah, you need to watch My Teen Romantic Comedy Snafu. It is amazing. The emotions in it is so good. And then I watched it, and I'm like, is it just not working for me? Or am I missing something? Because I'm not getting the same thing I think you're getting. It's 3 seasons, and I'll be honest, I wasn't bored the whole time, but for at least a season's worth of that show, I was bored. I would be lying if I said that I didn't find it interesting. I think the story is well done, and I think the characters are really good. However, I just feel like the pacing sometimes just didn't work for me. Let's talk about the characters. I am a Yukino defender. I know a lot of people don't like her. I love this character. I think she's great. A lot of people don't like Yui. I think she's great. I don't really have a problem with any of the characters. I think they're all great. I love the dynamic between Aurora. I might be pronouncing her name wrong. Iora. Don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sorry. Tourist. But her and Komachi, I love those two. I think their little dynamic they get in that last few seasons there, those are great. Wish we would have got more of that. I just think this anime is not for me. I don't think it's bad. I don't want to say that. There are other anime that I think get praised a lot, and then I'm like, I don't see it, and I don't think you're right. With this one though, I think they are right. I think this is a good anime. I think it's worth watching. I think there's going to be a big majority of people that's going to watch it and they're going to say, that is amazing. That's exactly what I want out of an anime like this. But for me, it's not. And so I'm left a little bit disappointed. Does that make me right you wrong? No. But it's just my opinion. My personal grade would probably be like a 7 out of 10. Like I said, I don't think it's bad. It's just not for me. So, yeah. As for merch, I have quite a bit. It's right off screen here, but there's a big shelf there. And if they made more good ones, I'd probably buy them. Because, like I said, I like the characters quite a bit. This was one of my first scale figures that I ever pre-ordered, and I love this gal. I think she looks so good. But yeah, 7 out of 10. Diary of Our Day at the Breakwater. Be completely honest with this one. So, this anime has basically been made at least a dozen times. And you might say, what are you talking about? Are you talking about fishing? No. This exact character trope has been made over and over and over again. And I love it every single time they do it. It is so much fun. Is it good? Like, is it like high quality filmmaking? No. For example, Do It Yourself. That came out a few years ago. Guess what's in it? You got the main girl who is not necessarily, you know, the too clean to do anything, not necessarily the filthy one. She's just kind of like the, you know, average girl. There you go. They're the same. You got the kind of tomboyish one. There you go. You got the kind of rough and tough tomboy, older sibling or older senpai thing. There you go. That's done. How many anime does that fit into? So there you go. However, I do like this one. It's not... If you told me to name a fishing anime, this wouldn't be the first one. I think other ones have done it better. Specifically, I think Slow Loop does it a little bit better, but this one is fine. It's a great learning one. I think it's a good one because there are things in this that I think are really neat. Specifically, I never knew about when they did the fishing thing where they have the line and then there's multiple little strings that come off of it and they've got the little bait on it and then it picks up a bunch of fish and then pull it out and they've got a bunch of tiny fish. Never knew that. This anime taught me that. So, was that its goal? And was it never trying to be this amazing, you know, story? It was just trying to promote this type of activity to, you know, people. If that's the case, it did exactly what it's out to do. And I think it is. There's no way that they're actually like thinking this is an anime of the year type thing, but I mean, I had fun with it. It does exactly what it wanted to. It's got a good OP, good ED. I've still listened to them to this day. So yeah, I don't really have a ton to say about it. It's a solid anime, and I had a lot of fun with it. 6.5. Like I said, it's nothing special, but it's not bad by any means. It's kind of forgettable, and it's kind of simple. That's all. Oh, I forgot. I've got the Nindroid of this, and it's one of the few Nindroids that came with this little base, and you can take her off of it, and this unfolds there, but you can fold it back up, and you can put it underneath there, and then you can have her holding her little fishing pole, and it hangs lower than the base, so you can sit it up higher, and it looks like she's fishing off of the little pier. I loved this little thing. This is one of my favorite Nindroids. I can't believe I almost forgot about this thing. Kasan and Morning Glories. So, this might be one of the shortest anime that I've ever watched. Well, maybe not. It's like 45 minutes. Maybe not even that. It might be like 39. It's a very short anime. And it is basically a tiny chunk out of a much, much bigger story. And it's kind of sad to me that this is all we're ever going to get. Like, it's too far gone now to ever make an actual anime out of this. Because this is the most adorable little series that I've ever seen. It's a Yuri. Half of you already have an opinion on it, whether or not you love it or hate it, just from me telling you that. But I had a good time with this. I do think concept-wise, this has more potential than something like Bloom Into You. But, for one, I can't find these books anywhere. I have looked and looked. Can I order them? Yeah, I know. You tell me that all the time, but I like trying to find them. But I have looked for these books, and they're hard to find. But as for the story itself, I enjoyed it. I think it's interesting. And I like the dynamic of this really cutesy girl and this kind of tomboy, very, kind of bigger, tall girl. And I like that. I like the dynamic there. I think it's good. And I want to see more out of this. We never will. But what we did get, I enjoyed a lot. So it's a very short anime. You're not going to get a lot out of it. It's just a brief little story here. Not a lot to digest. Watch it whenever you want. I think it's still on Crunchyroll, so go check it out there. I do have the Blu-ray for it. I also have this. As for a grade on this, 7 out of 10. Like, I don't want to give it a higher grade because it's very short. It's like if I graded an OVA and said, oh, this is a 10 out of 10 OVA. No, that's kind of unfair because then an anime can do 12 episodes that are slightly less quality, but they made 12 episodes that did really good. This only had to do 30 minutes, so yeah, 7 out of 10. It's fine. Go check it out if you like Yuri. Oh boy, do I have some stuff to talk about here. If out of all the anime that I wanted to talk about today, this is the one. This is the one. Because, like, I've been wanting to talk about this for a while. And I'm going to go into brief spoilers. Not a lot of spoilers, but I assume this is the one out of any of them that you've seen today. This is probably the one you've watched. So, My Next Life as Villainous, All Routes Lead to Doom, has 2 seasons and a movie, but we'll talk about that movie another time. Still doesn't have an English release. Anyway, but whatever. This series has 2 seasons. That first season, solid. She gets transported to this she gets reincarnated, and she is into her favorite video game now. It's a dating sim. And she is the villainess in it. And she knows that in every route, the villainess always dies at the end. So she's got to do whatever she can to not die. However, she doesn't realize, because she's blinded by the fact she's going to die, that everyone has fallen in love with her. All the boys, all the girls, they all love her. So it's not an issue that she's going to die because they all love her. None of them's going to kill her, but she doesn't realize that because the events of the game are still transpiring. Now, Season 1 takes us through that dating sim. So at the end of Season 1, she realizes, oh, I'm not going to die because I beat the game. So I am safe now. And you would think now it's going to be pretty interesting because we're going to get to develop her character now. We're going to develop all these relationships now because she is no longer blinded by the fact that she's going to die. However, the creators did not want to lose that, and they did not want to actually make a good story. So what they did was, they made her an idiot. She's just stupid. In season 2, she's absolutely brain dead because she still thinks she's gonna die. The game's over. They are literally telling you that they love you, and you are still not getting it. How brain dead are you? I swear, this has bothered me since season 2 of this came out. I was so excited for season 2. I thought, man, there's going to be so much they can do. Nope. Nothing at all. And it's boring. And it just makes you want to bang your head against the wall the whole time you watch it, because you're just thinking, this could have been so much better. But it's not. It's just a waste of time, and it's no good. Season 1, 8 out of 10. Season 2 is god-awful. Don't watch it. It's going to ruin your mood. It's going to ruin your opinion on this anime. That's a 4 out of 10. Don't watch it. I hated this anime after that. My opinion on her went down after watching it. I just don't like this anime anymore. I would have bought more merch, but no, I don't really want any more merch. I have this, I have the Blu-ray, and that's all I want. There's also a movie. We'll talk about that in like 10 more parts, but we'll get there. We'll get there. That's another thing we gotta talk about. But anyway, this is bad. Don't watch this. Moving on. One Room. So technically, this is the very first Japanese Blu-ray that I ever bought. Interesting little thing there. But this is a series that kind of was my first step into a different type of anime. And these are little short stories, and they're just little, like, you know, we'll have an arc for this girl. We'll have an arc for this girl. And I believe this is based off a visual novel. And they made an anime to go along with it. And I'll be honest, it's fine. There's nothing really here besides cute girls, and it's basically a visual novel in anime form. Do you want to see cute girls in compromising situations and in cute clothes? Then there you go. One Room. Do you want a plot that is any more deeper than a shallow creek? You ain't gonna find it here. I appreciate anime like this because it is unique. There is something to be admired whenever an anime like this happens, because I think you don't see this very often. So when you do get it, I find it quite amusing. And I don't know. Maybe it's because it's so early and like I hadn't experienced a lot of these to this point, but I hold a soft spot for this anime. So yeah, there's not a lot to talk about. Maybe I'd be more critical if I was, this was like the 20th one of these that I had found. But for what it is, I did enjoy it. It's nothing special, but it's fine. 6.5 out of 10. Maybe a 7. No, 6.5. I can't go any higher than that. It's got to be a 6.5. But, I mean, go check it out if you really want to. I mean, it's nothing. You can finish it in, like, a day. Finally, here we have anime number 80, and that is Kakushi Goto. Now, I will say this. This is an anime about the main character here. His wife dies, and so he has to raise this little girl by himself, and he draws ecchi manga, so he's basically got to do what he can to avoid that she catches wind of his secret. And it's fine. It's nothing special. It's enjoyable. It reminds me of something like Sweetness and Lightning or Bunny Drop before it gets bad. But, I'm gonna be honest, with this one, I kind of got bored. I really did get bored with this one. And as I went on, I just thought, meh, is it really that good? And I was like, well, it's fine. There's nothing really that I dislike about it. And then we get to the last, I think it's 2 episodes, and there's a twist in it. And I'm not going to spoil it. Go watch it for yourself. This is one that I do recommend watching. I feel like it works for some people. It just didn't work for me. There's a twist in it. Saying there's a twist really doesn't spoil anything because you won't see it coming. But this twist, I didn't like. I didn't like it at all. I felt like it was very odd, and I didn't like how it worked. I thought it kind of messed with the story. I don't know. It didn't stick with me, and I've always kind of thought, yeah, it's that anime. Is that being harsh on it? Maybe, but meh. I mean, it's one that I'm like, yeah, it exists. I did watch it, but was it really that good? Not really. 6 out of 10. Now that I have got you to the end of this video and you've watched all of it and you've already given me all of your watch time, I think this is the weakest group we've had so far. Early on, I really didn't plan to have these in 10 anime chunks. I still don't really now, but I really didn't back then because I never thought, well, I'm going to make these in 10 episode review chunks. No, I didn't really plan that ahead, but this little bunch here is just it's just 10 anime of that was okay. And then you have Liz and the Bluebird that is amazing. And then you have 9 others that are like, yeah, that's fine. And then you have this that's really bad. But I don't really have a lot to say on these. That's why I have, 30 minutes worth of stuff to say, but that's about it. And I don't know, like some anime you just don't have a lot to say about. And I don't know, I want to talk about them because I watch them and I want to keep record of, what my opinion was on them. But at the same time, it's like some of these are just so meh that you're like, I don't have a lot to say about them. That won't be the case next time because there's a few anime that I have some hot takes on, good and bad. Not all bad, not all good. Some really interesting ones. But the next 2 episodes are going to be really interesting. So stay tuned. I'm excited to keep this series going. I hope you enjoyed it. It has been a bit of a minute since we did a video like this, so I hope you will forgive me for the bit of a break, but we'll have the other part up here in not as long of a gap because I have more to say about it. These I kind of had to think, all right, what was that anime about? But anyway, thank you so much for watching. If you do want to see more like this and anime reviews and anime unboxings and anime hauls and whatever else that I come up with, subscribe if you haven't already. Like this video, comment what your opinion is on any of these. If you do have an opinion or if you haven't watched these, which one appeals the most to you. But anyway, thank you again so much for watching. Until next time, bye.